Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Eminent panelists, distinguished participants, some very interesting speeches have been made, some interesting points have been raised. So I'd like to, in my concluding remarks, I would like to say a few things. And I agree with Mr. Hassan Iqbal, you need leadership. And if you look at all the countries since the Second World War who have come out of a state of despondency, and if you look at the European Union after the war, the elders sat down and they said we need a common market. Countries which were at loggerheads, they had fought 3 wars, 1871 Bismarck's war, and then 1914, and then 1939's war. And the elders came around and thought the economic development will take precedence on everything else, that was happening in Europe. And then we see countries which have come up in the last few decades. I think Essence Art did not talk about Manmohan Singh, but I think that's another thing that we need to see how India changed its course. And he's right when he says, it was Nawaz Sharif who started the reforms in Pakistan. And I remember going to Davos, I think Sartaj Aziz was also there, when Indians thought that there was a messiah in Pakistan, who was trying to bring change in the country. Manmohan Singh, when he arrived in India, he went to the Prime Minister at that time, Narasimha Rao, and he said, look, we need to do reforms, we need to change the way we do business. So the Prime Minister said, what will happen? He said, there will be consequences, we'll have to change things which some people are not going to like. And it is a possibility that the election down the road, you might not win. The Prime Minister asked him to come back after a week and he said, okay, go ahead and do it, India was in a dismal state in 1991. The reserves were low. There was hardly any investment. Pakistan was much ahead of India at that time. They started selling gold, which for people in India was a big thing, when they tried to sold, and Air India had to carry gold out of India to supplement their reserves. See what happened in India since then. The reforms started by Mr. Manmohan Singh and where India is today. Narasimha Rao did lose his parliamentary majority and he stayed on for another 3 as a minority Prime Minister of India. First thing our politicians need to learn, there is no harm if you lose an election. What will happen? What we need to do is the right thing. By giving subsidies, by artificially propping up things, creating jobs, is not going to solve the problem. What is happening now in the country is also, we are looking to another election which is going to be in this country. And I think this is probably going to be the most important election in my lifetime. Because I think if people vote sensibly for the reforms that we need, and they are obvious, everybody knows, what's right and what's wrong, You go back to the privatization of banks, for example. All the banks which have been privatized in Pakistan, they employ more people today than they were employing at the time of privatization. This myth that people are fired, people are separated is wrong. All the banks make much more profit, so they pay taxes. I'll just give you an example, MMCB, which is the largest capitalized bank in Pakistan. We had a profit when I walked into the office of 15 crores that year. And this year we made 31 billion rupees and we paid 15 billion rupees in taxes. Another industry which was privatized is cement, for example. The price of cement has doubled in the last 20 years, while everything has gone up through the roof. We had a production of 800,000 tons. Today we produce 4.5 million tons. We are exporting cement, and where the taxation that the industry gave has risen by over 10 times. And more employment has been created, and today we are shipping cement to countries. We export in our company from here to Ethiopia 50,000 tons a month, for example, we are shipping. So what I'm trying to say is that we know what is wrong. We need to reduce the public sector. We I was in Islamabad 2 days ago on this power sector, where we are also very heavily involved. And today your power sector is losing as much as your defense expenditure of Pakistan. The line losses, the wrong mix of our electricity, it is losing nearly 700 billion rupees a year, And it's not very difficult to sort this out. You shift all the furnace oil based projects which have railway sidings and you convert them to coal. You install boilers next to one another, and when they are installed with a very short break, you can shift over to coal. Similarly, some of the projects which are running at 20% efficiency and the new projects which have come up in the year 2002 policy, if we shift all our resources in gas and in furnace oil, we save about 20 billion rupees a month. So this brings us to about 350 billion rupees savings. In energy, for example, we are doing some biofuel projects. One is being done in Lahore. Anybody wants to come, you can see it. We are using 27 biofuels to make electricity. From cotton sticks, we can make 6,000 megawatts. I mean, we have a big, on talk shows, we want to talk, Ehsan Iqbal Sahab, about Tarbela Dam, Pasha Dam, 6,000 megawatt bagi thi sirf cotton sticks se ban sakti hai. China, they are doing this. You can, aap dekhe, rice husk ki कीमत 1,000 रुपए ton. It was 1,000 rupees a ton. It's gone up to 7,000 because people are using rice husk to produce energy. मूंगफलियों के छिलके आपको मैं कभी चीज़ें दिखाऊं, the things that we are using now in our companies, municipal waste which we are just dumping here and creating all kinds of problems, all these new avenues which are possible, but we can only do this if we get rid of one, the secular debt, because nobody will finance anything in a situation where you have huge payables. So the energy crisis we can sort out on a war footing, but we need to think out of a box. The other thing I wanted to talk about is entrepreneurship. I think a lot has been talked about laws, regulations. A lot of it has been said about having professionals. Well, it's great to have professionals. We have 40,000 people working in our companies. 40,000 people working in our companies. But we always do not talk about entrepreneurs, because you need entrepreneurs to turn around an economy. I was at a dinner in London the other day. Malia Lodhi's son got married, and we had some British diplomats, some Indian diplomats, we had some local businessmen also, and we were discussing about entrepreneurship, and they said in the United Kingdom there are very few entrepreneurs. UK has not produced any entrepreneurs. This is what is happening across Europe also now. That's why Europe is stagnating, one of the reasons. And who are the biggest entrepreneurs in the United Kingdom today? The largest single employer in UK today is Tata. Jaguar Motors, Cora Steel, Taj Hotels. He is today the largest employer in UK. Mittal is the richest person. So where are the British entrepreneurs? So we have those genes. This is what I'm trying to say. That in this part of the world, we have people who can do that. Why United States is such a productive country in the world? No country can compete because it reinvents itself. And the reinvention, how they do it, is what you see. Steve Jobs, when he died, he had $100 billion in his company. You look at Microsoft, you look at the steel magnates, you look at the Rockefellers, they created universities, they created, growth and development. Because America, you always invent things. In spite of the fact that America has been in so many wars, so much money they have wasted. Korean War, Vietnam War, Iraq, Afghanistan, but still it is the number one country in the world. It's because they have a very vibrant private sector. So I think we need to encourage entrepreneurship. And I think I would say that Muhammad Ali Sahib is also here. I think we have been bombarded with regulations. bombarded. And Sajjad Sahab said something very interesting. He said when he was the finance minister, look at how many companies came into the stock market. The laws might be more progressive today, but 200 companies because there was growth in the economy. So I think what our political leaders have to understand is if your economy is good, you can win elections. What is happening in Pakistan? What I see is that we have a government which lasts for about 2.5 years for whatever reasons. I think the first Nawaz Sharif government really did a lot of reforms. And I think for what the reasons the government changed was, I think we were set for development. But I think I must say, sir, to you also, Mr. Sajjad, we've discussed this. In the second government of yours, you faltered. There was hesitation. You had become more politicians than reformers, which I think even the chief of your party acknowledges it now. And then what you see is after 2.5 years, what happens is the economy starts going down, and then rumors start happening, And then it's a perfect time for somebody to take over. So every 10 years, we come up with a military government, and then first 2-3 years things run well. Then later on, some sort of a Muslim League comes up. Conventional Muslim League, Judaism Muslim League, this Muslim League. And the guys in uniform think, oh, I'm electable because, I know everything, I think we need to break this gridlock now. I think we live in very challenging times, I think, look at the epicenter of the world is changing. 20 minutes from here is the Indian border. The price of real estate in that part of the world is twice what we have or thrice what we have here, I can tell you, if you open this border with India, and open all the borders, not only will we be able to compete with them, this is a myth people have and a fear psychology people have, We will compete with them in banking, we will compete with them in industries. Some industries will realize, koi mulk aaj tak jisne apni trade kholi hai, has never lost out. Look at Mexico. Americans were worried that what will happen to us? उन्होंने कहा जी immigration भी रुक जाएगी, illegal भी हो जाएगी, if we create jobs. NAFTA, you look at European Union, you look at the ASEAN countries and all that. So we should not worry. India ने भी जब China से trade खोली थी, they feared a lot of China. And today India has a surplus balance of payment with China. So we need to, every house, I can bet on this, will have, the price will double in Lahore if you open this border, Can you imagine how much capital you will have? So we need to work out of fear. We need to create more competition. That is where our industries will become better. That is where, we will provide more jobs to our people. So I am very, very hopeful that we are living in an area where India and China, the two major growing economies, are our neighbors. Tashkent is 1 hour 40 minutes from here. Just Karachi jana, ya Tashkent jana, is not much difference from here, Dushanbe is 45-50 minutes from here, you can go there, So let's open the rebuilding of Afghanistan. I hope it happens. We will participate. We are the natural country. We will giving raw materials, construction. Let anybody also come with them. We will be able to do work with all the international companies which will come in, I can say that because I feel I have the right to say that, When I came into banking, people said, oh, you can't run a bank. You don't know anything about banking. We said, okay, give us some time, And today, of all the banks which have been privatized, if you look at some of the banks which are run by large shareholders, their performance is better. And I challenge all the regulators in Pakistan to see what has happened in other banks and where large shareholders are. When the banking industry crisis came in America, and this is for you, SN, you must remember this, all the banks which failed in America had one common thing. They had to produce a balance sheet. Every 3 months, the results had to come out. So there was a bonus system. They took excessive risks with people's money. And what happened to where there were large shareholders, things were quite different. Look at the largest bank in Europe now is Bank Santander. It is in Spain, where the economy is probably in the worst shape. It is the largest lender and is reputed to be the best bank in the world. मुझे one thing I'm also, मुझे गिला है लोगों से काफ़ी, वो ये है कि when we were voted as the best bank in Asia in 2010 and 2011, I didn't receive one phone call from anybody, कि your earning ratios are the best, and in Asia you have Japan, you have India, you have Singapore, all these countries, So we need to open up our economy, we need to do all these things, that I'm talking about. Look at countries which have been made on airlines, 2 countries. Dubai is what Emirates Airlines is. Singapore is what Singapore Airlines created. Do you know, I was talking to the chairman of Emirates Airlines about 2 weeks ago, and he said, we are the 7th largest airport in the world, with 63 million people. Out of that, 2/3 of the passengers who come to Dubai don't even land here. They are transit passengers. The impetus Emirates has given to Dubai is something fantastic. We have an airline here in Pakistan जो चलती नहीं है. One day, I am very blunt and I must say this, the Prime Minister of Pakistan called me up शुरू में, उन्होंने कहा जी इस एयरलाइन का क्या करना चाहिए. तो मैंने कहा जी भेजे मेरे पास सारों को, we'll discuss it. So I called the Defense Secretary Kamran Rasool came, Air Marshal number 2 in the Air Force, I think, I don't remember his name, PIA's Managing Director came, Finance Director आए. तो मैंने कोई 1-8 लोग मेरे पास बिठाए, मैंने हिसाब किताब उनका देखा. I was stunned. 71 अरब के उनके लॉसेस थे. उनके पास 2 होटल थे, एक रोजवेल्ट न्यूयॉर्क में और एक पेरिस में होटल था. And I looked at the valuation. It's just before Lehman Brothers. The valuation and the losses were almost equal. मैंने कहा ये सारे लॉसेस इधर पार्क कर दें और एयरलाइन को डेट फ्री करके इसको भेज दें. तो जब ये फैसला करके मैंने रिकमेंडेशन दे दी, उसके बाद नए मिनिस्टर आए, उन्होंने कहा फिर मैं ही करांगा. एंड येस्टरडे आई वाज सीइंग दैट ही इज नो मोर द चेयरमैन. हुकूमतों का काम नहीं है एयरलाइनें चलाना. हुकूमतों का काम नहीं है एयरलाइनें चलाना. आप देखिए कि कितनी डीरेगुलेशन दुनिया में आ गई है. देयर इज एन एयरपोर्ट नियर ब्रसेल्स which was recently fined by the European Union. वहाँ जो फ्लाइट लैंड करती थी, they were paid by that airport to land there. आप तो लैंडिंग फीस लेते हैं ना, वो देते थे उल्टे पैसे. उनका ये था कि जो जहाज़ आता था उनको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, ट्रांसपोर्ट, ड्यूटी फ्री. So they gave that service. सिंगापुर में भी जब ली कुआन यू ने इस मुल्क को शुरू किया, तो he realized that we need to have projection of the country. And Singapore Airlines will give that protection to that country. Or look at how Singapore has come up, Is he was right when he said, Deng, when Mao's reform failed, when the country was in doldrums, they brought this guy, इन्होंने ये तो नहीं बताया कि वो जेल में था उस वक्त. Deng was in jail, 5 फुट 1 इंच का कद था उसको बुला के लाया कि इस मुल्क को ठीक करे. And he was smart enough and he realized that economics and politics are 2 different things. And look at कैसे समझदार लोग हैं the Chinese, कि they have a political system जहाँ कभी झगड़ा नहीं पड़ा, where people are groomed in the party, and yet they have an economy which is totally open. So if we deregulate our economy, if we privatize, ना इनका काम है बिजली बनाने का, ना इनको बनानी आती है, ना इनको बनाना चाहिए, ना कोई भी जो मेजर इश्यूज हैं. Look at Maggie Thatcher, how she transformed a lady जो ग्रोसरी शॉप के ऊपर रहती थी अपने बाप के, and she knew कि वो किस तरह ग्रोसरीज बेचते हैं. When she came to power, मैं उस ज़माने में, उससे पहले I was a student in UK, हड़तालें, अंधेरा, बिजली बंद, यही रौला था वहाँ पर. She came and she reformed that economy. And when she sold the British Motor Corporation, जो आपको याद होगा, some of the older ones, Austin, fair playing field, but the government's job is not to run. And this will also be good for the politicians, by the way. Every day, politicians come to my office, कि ये बंदे की जी प्रमोशन होनी है, आप करवा दें. 90% ऑफ द केसेस वो बेचारे फंसे हुए हैं, वो गलत ही बंदे की प्रमोशन मेरे पास लेकर आए। नाउ पॉइंट इज, अगर these things are privatized, तो politicians can also concentrate and honest politicians will come up, in things, Look at our railways, look at our ports, look at all the things that we have. And we can also, बड़ी सिंपल सी बात है, अब आप देखें कि ये रोज़ पैनल लोग बात करते हैं टीवी पर ऑन द पावर क्राइसिस। आप देखें जो पंजाब के सारे डिस्को हैं, दे आर मोर और लेस इन बैलेंस। एहसन इकबाल साहब नोज व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट। लेस्को, फेस्को, गुजरावाला, सारे मोर और लेस 1-2 बिलियन काम पर हैं। देयर आर प्रोविंसेस इन दिस कंट्री जो 7% बिजली के बिल पे करते हैं। फाटा ये वो, मैं समझता हूँ कि वो लोग बड़े स्मार्ट लोग हैं जो 7% पे करते हैं। अगर आप ये पहले हर चार्ज लग रहा है कि जी पंजाब ने कोई पावर प्लांट नहीं लगाया, अब कैसे लगा सकते हैं पावर प्लांट? मुझे ये बताइए, जब आपका रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम नहीं है तो आप कैसे लगा सकते हैं? जब आपकी पेप्को अलग होगी, जो 18वीं अमेंडमेंट इन्होंने कहते हैं इन्होंने की है, तो फिर एवरीबडी विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर देयर ओन अफेयर्स, तो देन देयर सॉवरेन गारंटीज विल बी एक्सेप्टेड। दे कैन फाइनेंस प्रोजेक्ट्स जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, वी कैन डू ऑल दोज थिंग्स। और ये लोड शेडिंग और इन चीज़ों से, हम बंगालियों के बारे में यही कहते थे कि ये तो जी बिल्कुल नालायक है, लुक व्हाट दे हैव डन। सो आर बलूचिस विल ऑल, दे आर वेरी गुड पीपल, आर पीपल इन फाटा आर गुड पीपल, देना उनके अख्तियारात उनको दे। तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि चीज़ें जो है ना, नोबडी इज़ बैड, इट्स जस्ट द सिस्टम हैज़ टू बी फिक्स्ड, इसी तरह मैं आई एम गोइंग टू टेक अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ टाइम मे बी। मैं एक दिन बांग्लादेश के भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर को मिलने गया, और हर फादर एंड माई फादर न्यू ईच अदर, तो मैं पहले तो घूमते घूमते उसके प्राइम मिनिस्टर हाउस में, मैंने कहा पता नहीं टाइम दे के भूल गई है, वो बंदा ही नहीं था वहाँ। सो एनीवे आई एंडेड अप in our study, and here was a woman which I couldn't believe that she was a prime minister, very modestly dressed and all that. तो जाते साथ मुझे पूछती है, ये आपके मुल्क में ये क्या है? एक हुकूमत आती है तो दूसरी हुकूमत को अटैक कर देती है कि भाई ये तुमने काम किया था तो तुमने ये गलत किया है। दूसरी आती है तो कहती है दूसरे। वो कहने लगी कि हसीना वाजिद और मैं, वॉट एवर इकोनॉमिक डिसीजंस वी टेक, वी नेवर चैलेंज ईच अदर। हम घराव करते हैं, जलाव करते हैं, तकरीरें करते हैं, बट ऑन द इकोनॉमी we never do this because we need the continuity of policies and we need to do things, तो ये जो इश्यूज हैं। और जब मैं उस दफ्तर से बाहर निकला तो एक आदमी मुझे ऐसे लगा जो किसी को मैंने देखा हुआ है, तो मैंने कहा जी आप कौन साहब हैं? उन्होंने कहा जी मेरा नाम भट्टी है। मैंने कहा भट्टी साहब आप यहाँ क्या कर रहे हैं? भट्टी कहता है जी मैं रावलपिंडी से हूँ जी। मैंने कहा तुम इधर क्या कर रहे हो? तो कहने लगा जी मैं यहाँ ही रह गया था, मेरी मुजीबुर रहमान की फैमिली से ताल्लुकात थे। तो मैंने कहा तुम क्या कर रहे हो? तो कहने लगा जी मैं आई एम एन MNA ऑफ अवामी लीग फ्रॉम ढाका। मुझे आप बताएं, ये शऊर है उनका, दे आर स्मार्ट पीपल, उनके सर पर पड़ी तो उन्होंने की ये सारी चीज़ें। उन्होंने देखा हमारे पास ना पैसे हैं ना हमारे पास एनर्जी है, दे वेंट इनटू गारमेंट इंडस्ट्री। इस वक्त बांग्लादेश में 1-1 लाख लोग काम कर रहे हैं, एक फैक्ट्री, औरतें 100,000, एक बिल्डिंग 50-50 हज़ार। उन्होंने कहा जी, वो अमेरिका गया, उनको कहा जी हम बहुत गरीब हैं, उन्होंने उनको सारे ट्रेड कंसेशन दिए। हम जाके रोप डालते हैं लोगों पर, वो कहते हैं हम बहुत गरीब हैं। ये वही फारूक सुबान उनका एम्बेसडर था वहाँ, जो फारूक लगारी, मुइन अफजल, इन सारों का काउंटर पार्ट है। एंड दे हैव गॉट ट्रेड कंसेशन एंड दे हैव टर्न दैट कंट्री अराउंड। अब एक गारमेंट फैक्ट्री में क्या लगता है? ना तो बिजली लगती है और ना ही आपको कोई ज़्यादा कैपिटल चाहिए। I run a garment factory also here. I'd like anybody to come there. 3,000 लोग वहाँ कर रहे हैं, औरतें काम कर रही हैं। It's a factory, you can park 2 jumbo jets there. We don't consume much energy. We sell to Levi's, Gap, ये वो। मैं सिर्फ बैंक नहीं चलाता, मैं और भी चीज़ें करता हूँ। आप आके देखें कि where we are shipping in every 24 hours the stock moves. ना कोई कैपिटल चाहिए मगर लेबर इंटेंसिव है। We don't need dams, we don't need fertilizer plants. We need biogas plants, we need employment oriented industries, आके देखें आप। और हमारे यहाँ बड़े अच्छे लोग हैं, वो कहते हैं जी ये पढ़े लिखे लोग नहीं हैं पाकिस्तान के। दैट्स अनदर थिंग, मुझे टीवी पर मैं रोज़ देखता हूँ, बट इट इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट दैट वी नीड टू हैव एजुकेटेड पीपल। जिस मुल्क की 180 मिलियन आबादी है उसमें 10% भी अगर पढ़े लिखे हों तो दैट्स मोर दैन द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ हॉलैंड। दीज वेमेन हु कम एंड वर्क देयर फॉर 2 months वी गिव देम ट्रेनिंग। Their average salary is much more than any factory worker. We provide them, transport and all that. आप आके देखें। यहाँ एक अलवी साहब होते थे पंजाब गवर्नमेंट में, एक दिन मैंने उनको कहा जी आप ज़रा इधर आए ना, आई नीड अ स्मॉल स्कूल, कागज़ की जो है पेपर पे अगर आप औरतों को सिलाई सिखा दें। He was such a good bureaucrat and I have met more good people in Pakistan than that. उन्होंने जनाब आए, देखा, Sunday, next day was Sunday, he started sending me emails. In 3 months he go to that school. So we need to create employment. We need to create jobs. और कोई मुल्क भी 2% ग्रोथ से नहीं चल सकता. We need to have at least 8 to 10% growth. Otherwise, मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ कि ये फेडरेशन भी आपकी सर्वाइव नहीं करेगी. द वे इट इज़, दिस कंट्री वी विल फाइट अमंग आवरसेल्व्स, वी कीप 2% ग्रोथ, ये काम चलेगा ही नहीं. एंड आई रियली फील कि नॉट मेनी पीपल टॉक अबाउट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स. आई थिंक लोग कह रहे हैं जी लोग बोरो नहीं करते बैंकों से, मैं एग्री करता हूँ. वाई शुड एनी बडी बोरो मनी? बिकॉज उसको पता नहीं कि मेरी बिजली कहाँ से आनी, मेरी गैस कहाँ से आनी. इतनी डिस्टॉर्शंस हैं, मुफ्ते लगे हुए हैं लोगों के. 7 टैरिफ हैं गैस के. ऐसे इकबाल साहब 7 टैरिफ हैं. आपके एक आदमी CNG स्टेशन लगा के बैठा हुआ है, उसका ये हालत है इस मुल्क में कि एक मोटरवे पर उसने लगाया हुआ है, उसके भाई ने मोटरवे के दूसरी तरफ लगाया हुआ है. वो पाइप अपने खुद ही ले गया नीचे से, मोटरवे के नीचे से ले गया. घरों की तो बात ही आप छोड़. आप मुझे देना सुई लागत तो मैं आपको देखता हूँ कि कोई मेरे से इस तरह गैस लेकर जाता है. मैं ये बात कर रहा हूँ, एक यू लुक एट द बर्निंग ऑफ गैस, इफ़ वी डू इट ऑन क्लोरोफिक वैल्यू, उसकी हीटिंग वैल्यू बराबर कर दें विद अदर सोर्सेज ऑफ एनर्जी, तो जो हमारी प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर्स हैं वो खुद ही उस चीज़ों को ले लेंगे. द न्यू GE पावर प्लांट्स जो इस वक्त में मुल्क में लगे हुए हैं, गैस टरबाइन, वो सारे बंद पड़े, उनके पास गैस नहीं. They operate at over 60%, and a car on CNG works at 22%. ये जो प्राइसिंग डिस्टॉर्शंस आप ख़त्म करेंगे तो इनिशिएटिव आएगा लोगों में, लोग काम करेंगे, और ये मुफ्ते जो लगे हुए हैं ये सारे बंद हो जाएंगे. इसी तरह ये वापटा, ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं, लोगों ने काम तब करना है जब लोगों को पता लगेगा कि काम करके पैसे बनाने पड़ेंगे और लाइवलीहुड आएगा उनका. वी कांट वर्क लाइक दिस. ये अल्लाह करे कि ये जो अगला इलेक्शन है, ऐसे दिस इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट इलेक्शन इन आवर लाइफ टाइम्स. आई होप दिस कंट्री इज सेंसिबल इनफ, क्योंकि जमहूरियत नहीं एहसन साहब चलाएगी सिर्फ मुल्क. जिस मुल्क में जाली डिग्री वाले दोबारा इलेक्ट होते हैं, वी नीड टू हैव द करेज टू गो आउट एंड डू थिंग्स. यू नो, वी होप द पीपल ऑफ दिस कंट्री विच आई बिलीव इन, दे हैव इन देम द यू नो दे नो व्हाट इज़ राइट एंड रॉन्ग. और अल्लाह करे कि वी डू this election, or most probably I hope there is a government of majority, but फिर भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. अगर we have a coalition government, look at Europe. यूरोप में क्या डेमोक्रेसी का क्या हाल है. Italian Prime Minister was one day visited by Mr. Berlusconi and Angela Merkel. He said कि जी हम तो आपको पैसे नहीं देंगे, you will have to go. Today Italy में एक भी elected मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, एक भी कैबिनेट का मेंबर नहीं, नॉट वन. स्पेन के प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा कि मैं आज नहीं लड़ता इलेक्शन, ऑस्टेरिटी तो मेरे से नहीं होती है, तो बड़ा रफड़ वाला काम. आयरलैंड में हुकूमत हार गई. ग्रीस रोज़ आप देख रहे हैं, यू नो, नाउ दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट स्टिमुलेटिंग देयर इकोनॉमीज, बिकॉज है कि ये ऑस्टेरिटी तो चलेगी नहीं, बिकॉज देयर आर पीपल विच आर बिलो द पॉवर्टी लाइन. सो ये चीज़ें हमें सोचनी पड़ेंगी. फॉर द गुड ऑफ द कंट्री, लेट्स वर्क and think out of the box, और हमें डरना नहीं चाहिए from big decisions. This is my message. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It's absolutely brilliant.